run to be 8. And he set the ratio 6/8, which is 3/4. Using ordered pairs, how else could Aiden have found the rise to be 6? And we talked about that yesterday. So rise is talking about the x or the y values. When you rise up, it's talking about the y values. So when I look at these ordered pairs of 10 and 16, how else could I say that he rose 6? Subtracting. So we could say that 16 minus 10 is 6. And that's the y coordinates. Okay, using the ordered pairs, how else could Aiden have found that the run is 8? So run is the x values. So we take the x value, so the x coordinates, and subtract 16 minus 8, which is 8. COORDINATES.
Yeah, trouble.
I'm just doing a little abbreviate here.
Oh, my question.
Yeah.
So it's usually if it's a positive slope, then the triangle would be over the line, but for some reason.
Yeah, they draw them under, I draw them over. It really doesn't matter. It honestly doesn't matter. But I always draw them over because it's rise over run, so why not count the rise and then the run?
You get to be mad.
Yeah. Okay, so we can just describe slope as rise over run, the change in the y over the change in the x, and now we're going to add one more way. And that way is by using slope formula. The slope formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Make sure that line is in there. I just write too big for it. That is something that should be starred, highlighted, circled, something that's like huge deal. When you all go to algebra next year, like they're going to expect you to have that memorized.
Yeah, Trevor's kind of
Because, well, we're in pre-algebra because we are doing the pre-skills that you need for algebra. So like, we're doing the stuff that they assume that you already know.
Which one's harder?
Wait, pre-algebra's harder. It's not like kindergarten's harder.
Let's show when I'm going to school. Okay, stop repeating your walk wrong. That's the most annoying thing ever.
Okay, so
I just want to like smash.
guys, get it together. Come on. All right, so it says use the slope formula to find the rate of change in each representation and show all your work. So rate of change is just an interchangeable word for slope. Okay, so if you don't like the way it says rate of change, you can always change it to slope. Okay, so they give us a table. This is a table. It's called a table because it's made up of x values and y values. The x's that are on top of the y's, those are the ones that go together. So like this is an ordered pair, this is an ordered pair, this is an ordered pair, this is an ordered pair. Okay? Now, they want us to find slope using slope formula. You can choose any 2 points from a table, a graph, from ordered pairs to find the slope because slope is constant. So no matter what 2 ordered pairs you choose, it's still going to be the same answer. So let's say that Isaac chooses this one and this one, okay? And then we're going to do somebody else, okay? So these are the 2 points that they chose. So this is the ordered pair, 0, 5, because it's x, y, right, for ordered pairs. Ordered pairs are x, y. And this is the ordered pair, 2, 6. Everybody okay with that? All right, so I'm going to use slope formula to find the slope. So slope formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So the first point that Isaac chose was 0, 5. So I'm going to label that as x1 and y1 because that was the first point that he chose. The 2, 6 is the second point that he chose. So this is my x2 and my y2. And I labeled them just so that we make sure that we put them in the formula correctly. Like, did you label them?
Yep.
Okay, so once I label them, I'm ready to plug them in the formula. So I want us to all respond here. The formula is y2. So what did we say is y2? 6 minus y1, 5 over x2. 2 minus x1, 0. And then I would work that out. Okay, so on the top, what is 6 minus 5? 1. On the bottom, what's 2 minus 0? 2. So my slope is 1/2.
Oh, my bad.
Okay? And you don't have to write this down, but I just want us to watch, okay? So you just put your pencils down. All right, let's say that Brody 2's looking at it. He's like, man, I want to choose this point and this point. Okay, those are the ones he wants to choose. So he chose 1, 5.5, and 3, 6.5. Okay, well, this is my x1, y1. This is my x2, y2. So he would have done y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Well, what is 6.5 minus 5.5?
1.
And what is 3 minus 1?
2.
Hey, look, he got the same slope. So even if Isaac chose the ones in blue and Brody 2 chose the one in green, that's still fine because slope is constant. It doesn't matter what 2 points you choose, your slope is still going to be the same. Slope should always be a fraction, improper or proper, or a whole number. You should never give slope as a decimal. Yeah.
Could you do, what would happen if the 2 points select 4, 5,
Okay, well, what is, if I did 5.5 minus 5 and 1 minus 0, that would be 0.5 over 1. What's 0.5 divided by 1? 0.5, which is the same thing as 1/2. So it's still the same. You would just change it to a fraction. Okay, you all do number 2. So you all choose any 2 points that you want to choose. Find your slope. Are you all want to hear how my mind works? Does anybody know what 2 points I would have chosen? Because I don't have a calculator, Franklin. All right, Brooklyn. The 3 and the 8, because look at the y's. 22 and 62, it's 40. So I don't have a calculator, so that's why I would have chosen those 2. It doesn't matter though, the other points that you all said were fine. So I would choose these 2, so I would choose 322 and 862. So my x1, y1, my x2, y2. All right, so let's all participate here. What's y2?
62.
Minus y1.
22.
Over
8 minus
8 minus 3. Guys, if you're not going to answer correctly, then don't open your mouth. Okay? So I did y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So 62 minus 22 is 40 over 5. And what is 40 divided by 5? 8. So even if you chose the other 2 numbers, it still would have come out as 8. Yeah.
Why does the y go over the x and not the x over the y?
Because slope is the rate of change, which is the change in the y over the change in the x. So like when you look at slope like of this line, you're going downhill, like of this one that's graphed, you're going downhill. So when you're going downhill, do you rise? Like if you're gonna start walking, okay, just in general, I guess it's make more sense. Right now, if I said, hey, walk to the door, what would you do first? And then you would what? So you would rise before you ran?
No.
No, I'm gonna like,
So you would, I know, but even if you fell on the ground, you're still rising just a negative amount.
Look.
Yeah, you're still going down, which is still a rise.
Yeah, it's a negative rise.
It's a change. Alright,
Freaking stupid.
alright, on number 3, they gave you 2 points to use. They put 2 dots on your graph. So choose those 2 points and find your slope using slope formula. So what is the ordered pair for this one? And what is the ordered pair for this one? And then use your slope formula. And then you can check it by counting it on your graph. That would be another way to check it. And like we were saying, this is going to be what kind of slope?
Negative.
Negative because it's going down from left to right.
Why is that?
Y is the vertical change, yes. The up and down change. The 2 points that they gave you is they gave you this order pair and this one. All right, so what is the ordered pair that's this one?
Negative.
0, 0, 80. And this ordered pair is 550, because I count x comma y for a point. And then to count slope, I do the change in the y over the change in the x. So this was the first one or the second one, it really doesn't matter. So y2 is 50 minus y1, which is 80 over x2, 5 minus x1, 0. Okay, and then I work it out. 50 minus 80 is negative 30. 5 minus 0 is 5. And what's negative 30 divided by 5?
Negative 6.
Negative 6. And my slope is negative. I can do that by looking at it. So ordered pairs, I know I saw a few of you all racing. Ordered pairs are always x comma y. The slope is the rise over the run. I know that's kind of hard to distinguish because they seem like they should be the same. But ordered pairs are not the same as slope. Slope tells the steepness of the graph. Ordered pairs tell you the location of points. All right, we're not going to do all of these, but I want you all to do 4 and 5. So I want you all to use slope formula. No.
I should like one and have like a grid.
Oh yeah, there's like breakdowns you can graph on a calculator, but we're not ready for that. All right, so do 4 and 5 for me real quick. Make sure you follow the formula. Label your first point, x1, y1. Label your second point, x2, y2. And then plug them into the slope formula. Make sure you pay attention to your signs. You can use your calculator to back yourself up. If you do have a calculator, please get that out because we're gonna need it in a minute. If you didn't bring one, there's a few up here that you can come grab. You can just borrow one of these. Start putting your calculators in your zip bags that you have them every time. Yeah, the zip pouches or your little bag.
You do this with your pencil? No, you can't. Your pencil's not.
Quit it!
Austin, getting older.
Alright, guys, we need to calm it down, please. Alright, what's going?
Yeah, this is really.
Alright, so looking at number 4, I said this is the first point, and this one's the second point. So y2, what's y2? 7 minus y1.
4.
4, let's get more participation here. What's x2?
1.
Minus x1.
2.
2. Alright, and then I start reducing. 7 minus 4 is 3. 1 minus 2. And what is 3 divided by negative 1? Negative 3. So that slope is negative 3.
I got the answer right, but I forgot the equations.
Alright, so again on this next one, I'm going to label it x1, y1, x2, y2. So I want a little bit more participation here. So what's y2?
Negative 2.
Negative 2.
Minus y1
0.
over x2
3.
minus x1 negative 1. So on the top, that's negative 2 minus 0, which is negative 2. On the bottom, 3 minus negative 1. That makes it 3 plus 1, which is 4. And what fraction is negative 2 4 reduced to?
1/2.
Negative 1/2. So on that bottom there, that's typically a common mistake that people make. The formula Blake says that it's x2 minus x1. So since x1 was negative, it was minus a negative, which changed it to plus a positive. Okay. All right. We're gonna do number 8. Now, real quick, before we start number 8, we learned about 4 types of slopes. We had a positive slope, which we did on the other page. We had a negative slope, which we did right here, and then we had what?
Undefined and 0.
Undefined 0. Show me with your arm an undefined slope. An undefined slope is straight up and down. What about a 0 slope? It's a flat line. 0 slope is flat because there's no incline to it. But undefined is undefined because you can't just run straight up in the air. And you all are about to find out the real reason that it's undefined. Okay? All right, so let's look at number 8. Okay, this is the points they give me. So this is my x1, my y1, my x2, my y2. All right, so when I start using my slope formula, I'm going to write it again. All right, what's my y2?
3/4.
Okay. What's my y1?
3/4. What?
Over x2
5.
minus x1.
2.
2. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now, we're all going to use our calculators here in just a second. What is 3/4 minus 3/4? 0. And what's 5 minus 2?
3.
On your calculator, take 0 divided by 3. No, hold on. What is 0 divided by 3? 0. So this one has a 0 slope. Okay, so it's a flat line. All right, we're going to look at number 9 here. Okay, on number 9, this is my x1, y1, my x2, y2. All right, so everybody participate here. What's y2?
2.
What's y1?
3.
What's x2?
7.5.
Minus x1.
7.5.
Okay, so 2 minus 3
-1.
is -1. What's 7.5 minus 7.5?
0.
0. On your calculator, do not yell it out. Do -1 divided by 0 and shh. Do it's next to the period button at the bottom. Negative in the parentheses.
Oh my.
So -1 divided by 0. Hold on. Alright, what does your calculator say? Divide by 0 error. And the reason it says that is because in math, you cannot divide by 0. It's not possible. So this is
Undefined.
undefined. Alright, now we're gonna let somebody special tell me the answer to this, and it's Preston because Preston told me the answer to this question the other day. Preston, we'll see. Yeah. Why is that one undefined? You told me the other day. Okay, Preston, real intelligent, just so everybody knows, on that NWEA test, Preston scored a 99%.
What? What did
Yeah.
I get?
I don't know.
Probably like a 4.
I think the next closest was Sharman back there with a 97.
What about Leo? I totally got it.
I can tell you all later, but Preston's completely right. The reason that this one has an undefined slope is because the x coordinates are the same. And when the x coordinates are the same, that makes them be a vertical line on a graph. If you were to graph those, they'd be right on top of each other. The x coordinates, when they're the same, they're going to be on the bottom of slope, which will always put a 0 on the bottom if they're the same x value, which will make it undefined. Look at the one that's a 0 slope. What do you notice about its coordinates?
Same.
Where?
On the Y.
The y values are the same. The y values are the same, so that makes it have a 0 slope. When the x coordinates are the same, it has an undefined slope. Okay? All right, let's look at this last one here. All right, it says the table shows the relationship between the number of songs Alicia has purchased and the cost of her purchase. Find the rate of change or slope. So all of these are ordered pairs again. 2, 3.27, 5, 6.24, 8, 9.21, etc. They want you to find the slope of that table. So how did you find slope with the other table? You circle 2 points that you wanted to choose, and then you use slope formula. So let's go ahead and do that.
Is the 2 in the first one, is that the Y?
So with a table that's vertical like this will always be the X, this will always be the Y. Good question.
I don't like this. I'm trying to work a little bit.
Shh. Yeah, it's not bad.
What?
This one it's like a $150 calculator. It's stupid. I don't like it. It's a NumberWorks calculator. They're not even on the market yet. I got it free for like a free trial for teachers. It's very difficult.
Who spend $100?
It's very difficult to use, but no, I can't give it to anybody because I have to keep it because it's a trial day.
ABC on the calculator.
That doesn't mean anything. All right, so we're gonna let somebody choose here. All right, Eli, which 2 points did you choose?
I chose 2 and 3.27 and 5.
That's fine. All right, so these are his 2 points. So x1, y1, x2, y2. All right, so I'm going to do y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So 6.24 minus 3.27. And I got 2.97 over 3. And then I'm going to divide that by 3. And I got 0.99. Now, yeah. I don't know. Wait, did everybody get 0.99 to begin with?
Yes.
I
got
didn't get that far.
2.97 and I was around that, and then you answered the question.
Which 2 numbers did you choose? Savannah, which 2 numbers did you choose?
The 2. That's what I got.
I picked the 2 and the 8. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
same.
Okay, so you made a subtract. You might have hit a button wrong. You got that? All right, listen up. So we were talking about how slope cannot be a decimal. Now, I know I said that because the whole goal of us working for the rest of this, like 9 weeks, is slope on a graph. And slope on a graph is not a decimal. Slope on a graph, I have to have it as a fraction because I have to count rise over run. Now, in word problems, when they are asking for a, like, in the word of Beyonce, a specific number for something, okay? So it says, find the rate of change or slope, and it's got labels. This would mean what? Can anybody tell me what this 0.99 would mean based on the table? All right, Franklin?
The rate of change.
Okay, but what would you label it based on what the table says, Charmin? Dollars what?
Dollars for the number of songs.
Dollars per song. So this means that it costs 99 cents per song. If you put it as 99 over 100, that's fine. But it's still dollars per song. Anytime that it's a word problem, it's technically okay to have a decimal for a slope. And I know that I said that it can't be, but the whole goal of this year is for you all to work on the slope of a graph. So I want you to make sure you remember that slope of a graph is a fraction.
This is what the whole goal of the year is slope on.
Not the whole year, but like that's the whole goal of us like using this year.
Thank you.
All right, last one real quick. Post office charges a flat rate plus a cost for shipping based on the weight of an item. To ship a 2-pound item, it costs $6.09. To ship a 7-pound item, it costs $8.84. Find the rate of change. So this time they just did not give it to you in a table. They gave it to you in words. So they told you that it was 2 pounds and cost $6.09. And it was 7 pounds and cost $8.84.
Yeah.
And you'd still do it the same way. All right, so this is my x1, y1, my x2, y2. So 8.84 minus 6.09 over 7 minus 2. So 8.84, I can't hit anything. Mark this. And that's 2.75 over 5. And that's 0.55. So what does that mean? Right. All right, we're gonna stop there. I'm gonna tell you all something, so listen. We're gonna cross out some of them. Tomorrow is a jam-packed day for us, so we're not gonna have any time for nonsense. When we come in here, I'm gonna immediately pass out the DMR quiz. You're gonna complete that, and then I'm gonna pass out notes. Now, the notes are 2 pages, so like 2 fronts and backs, because we're running a little low on time, so I wanna get that test in before we leave for fall break, so we don't have a whole week and then come back and take a test. That would be smart. Yeah. We do, but I'm saying I wanna get the next test in before that Friday, so that we don't have like a whole week after and come back. Yeah.
On the slope stuff,
Yes. Yes, Asher.
the
The same thing that we've been doing all week on there is what we're gonna do. All right, we're gonna cross out, number 4. Number 7. And then we're gonna cross out number 10 and number 12.
All the other ones.
Yeah, all the other ones you do.
How many ones are there?
That after next Friday.
How many ones are there?
Miss Wilson,
Yeah.
if I